And it is the easiest thing in the world. And honestly, one of the most connecting things in the world right now for us to tell a story of of being a victim. And I want to front this by saying that this isn't about shame or guilt or berating, okay? Because that's going to get us absolutely nowhere. Finding a container, retreating to a space that feels comfortable and safe and familiar to us, especially when the external world looks like a fucking circus carnival gone wrong. Why would you blame yourself for it? Why would you beat yourself up for that? Welcome to the Manifesting Millions podcast, where we talk about manifestation, money, and practical guidance to creating your dream reality. My name is Amy Van Meel, and I am an experienced coach and transformation guide, obsessed with helping you get out of your own way and create a life that blows your mind each day you wake up. My goal in this podcast is to share practical manifestation, self-awareness, and growth techniques in real talk conversations. So if you're ready to massively transform your reality, your finances, your relationships, and your overall enjoyment of life, you are in the right place. I am absolutely delighted that you're here with me today, babe. Let's get into it. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to the Manifesting Millions podcast. If this is your first listen with me, welcome. I'm really excited that you're here. Today, I want to talk about the victim story. And I'm going to tell you something that I suspect nobody else has told you yet. The victim story is super hot right now. It's all the vibe, it's all the rage, it's where everyone is getting so much juice and life and I don't know, a sense of being seen, I think. And this is what I mean by that. There is so much happening in the world. There's so much happening in the world, okay? Like, I live in Canada. We're watching very closely what's happening south of the 49th. It's nothing short of ridiculous. My family is from the Netherlands. I saw a few weeks ago that the Dutch government fell. I hear my husband and friends and people talking about all the stuff that's going on in the world. And it is the easiest thing in the world. And honestly, one of the most connecting things in the world right now for us to tell a story of of being a victim. And I want to front this by saying that this isn't about shame or guilt or berating, okay? Because that's going to get us absolutely nowhere. This is about awareness. I've been in an odd place. It's I've talked about this a few times, but honestly, the last 18 months in particular has been just a really fucking weird vibe for me, and trying to do the inner work while also trying to grow a brand new business, while also trying to do all the things, and oh my God, it's been a lot. And what I had to do some reflective work today. There was a person that I spoke to that gave me an offer that I was had no intention of accepting, candidly. But our conversation was very interesting. And I left the conversation and had to do some inside reflection. And what I realized was that I have found myself repeating a story of being a victim, a story of struggle, of not having enough, a story of I'm trying my best, but it's not working. A story, I mean, I could go on and on. There's 1,000 iterations of the story, okay? It doesn't matter. Each of us has our own version of it. I had a conversation with my husband a few weeks ago. Maybe, hell, it might have only been a week ago. I don't actually remember. It was a while ago, and it doesn't matter. But we were talking about, I was talking a little bit about like, where do I see myself going in the future? Because I kind of was like, if business does not begin generating like it needs to, then this is not sustainable. I am unwilling to live in this fashion. Hey, babe, are you enjoying these conversations and wanting just a little bit more? Then you'll love my email newsletter, Insights. Inside each Insights email, I share the latest transmissions and some of my deepest thoughts, the kinds of ideas and breakthroughs that I just don't post anywhere else. These emails have practical and actionable shifts that you can make right away to transform your life one step at a time. No fluff, just real, honest insights that make a difference. Plus, as an Insights subscriber, you'll get early access to my newest offers and services before anyone else even hears about them. If you're ready to go deeper, to make a real change, and to be the first to know what's next, then sign up for Insights today. Click the link in the show notes or head to amyvanmeel.com/insights. Don't miss out, babe. Join my email community and start receiving your regular dose of inspiration directly from me. Head on over to amyvanmeel.com/insights. But I also said, I've been looking at you, meaning my husband. I've been looking at, close friends of ours, people who are in their mid-50s, approaching their 60s. They're starting to see retirement in the near-ish future. And the point being, they've built careers. They are in high-level roles. They are earning the kind of money that I'm sure that they've dreamed of for a long time. They command respect simply by being in the room. They have the opportunity for impact and influence. And they are in, vice president roles or director roles or senior roles. And all of them are fucking miserable. All of them are feeling stuck, wondering what's next, not being able to see an out, and the drumbeat of fucking fear that is being just soaked into our world right now is keeping fucking everybody stuck. I was in this program recently, and this is a person who's made multiple millions over the years. And I wish I had a count. I wish I had $1 for every time I heard this person say about how low enrollment was in this program and how it's been dropping off for the last 18 months, how everybody that they know who are established business owners who've made multiple millions year over year are seeing massively dropped numbers in their business. And, here I am, I've invested, I'm in the container, I said yes, and I hear over and over and over, I don't know if I can keep going. This is not what I wanted. And that felt very frustrating because, like, let me tell you, if you said, okay, Amy, I want to work with you one-on-one. And then for like the next 3 months, I said to you almost every time that we met for a coaching session, oh, like business just isn't going well. I've booked fewer clients this year than I ever have before. I don't know what's happening. I don't know how to keep going. Like it's one thing if I'm sharing that with you one time as part of our session, right? Like let's say your business is also doing something fucking weird and you're like, I don't understand what's happening. If I said that to you one time, that's shared as the example. But if I said that to you every single time we met, at some point, I'm going to guess you are going to feel possibly resentful, but like probably also unseen in the fact that you made an investment and I am reflecting back to you, hey, I'm glad that you're here, but like, fuck, we're barely keeping the lights on. Do you know? There's so much in the world that is just talking about fear and and it's impacting everybody. Now, I said this a few episodes ago, we are in a massive state of shift. The old structures that are in place that have not worked for the majority of people are falling away. That remains true. It is very easy for us to get stuck in a story of how terrible it's going to be. And every single time that I sit in front of this microphone and I record a podcast episode and I hope and hold the intention that, maybe this is the episode that hits 10,000 downloads. Maybe this is the episode that reaches 1 million people. Maybe this is, I don't know. But when I sit down to connect with you and to share with you and to offer insight to you, I always endeavor to do so from a place of I understand what's happening in the world. And also, it doesn't have to be bad. And then I was in this reflection, thinking about this offer that was in front of me and realizing that I have been seduced into a story of victimhood. Now, there's two major influences in my life. One will apply to you absolutely because you're a human existing on the planet, and the other one, well, may or may not. One we've already talked about. The world is just right now, it is so, oh my God, prime for every single one of us getting into a woe is me story. Okay? And this is true no matter what income level you're at, no matter what country you live in, no matter what gender you are, no matter what sexual orientation you are, it does not matter. The world is prime right now for not only getting into the victim story, but being justified and socially awarded for being in a victim story. So that's one. The other influence is, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this publicly, and I feel a little afraid to say this out loud, but here we go. I grew up with a narcissistic mother. I've been doing a little bit of reading about narcissism over the years, and it was a friend of mine who finally shed light on it and then sent me an article that explained how a narcissist operates, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is like my life laid out." All this stuff that when I would tell people, they'd look at me like I was fucking crazy and like, "Oh, Amy, you're just being, selfish or rude or childish or whatever." I'm like, this is like a roadmap to what's been happening to me my entire life. What the hell? So I'll give you the tiniest little, from what I understand, with a narcissistic person, I'm going to filter it through a parent. And particularly if there's more than one child, you're going to have two characters that I know of for sure, which is your golden child and your scapegoat. Golden child can do no wrong. Scapegoat always is to blame. So I got to be the scapegoat. And not knowing that was what was happening, I couldn't understand why my whole life, somehow everything seemed to be my fault, and I couldn't figure that out. I railed against it, I raged against it, I rebelled against it, and when I started to understand this is what was happening and it gave me such clarity, I'm like, oh my fucking God, I'm not crazy. Okay, that's really helpful. But on top of that, both of my parents have really invested deeply in their own victim stories. And they continue to this day. And both of my parents are now in their 70s. So to have this deep influence, both through observing how they model what they get in the world, because let me be very clear, the victim's stories have served them in some way. It always serves us in some way. So I have these two super strong influences, right? Like this history of, being the scapegoat with a narcissistic mother, with two parents who are very, very locked in and feel very strongly about their victim stories, as that is how we get ahead in the world. And then the second influence of just like everything in the fucking globe right now, really supporting having a victim story. And I sat down and was reflecting on this and was like, oh my God. I flowed through some really amazing questions, which may or may not be shared in my work at some point. It might become a free download. It might become something that gets put into, it actually very likely will be something that I may put into my Breakup with Broke program, where it's a 5-week audio journey, and I offer you insights and ideas and shifts to release worry, to stop committing to fear, to reframing your debt, and to creating expansion and joy and ease in your life, and in particular in your money. The link for that is in the show notes if you're interested. But what I wanted to offer on the podcast today was these last two specific questions. Now, understand that these are at the back end of some really deep reflective questions already. But I want to leave you with these to think about as it relates to the victim story in your life. And I understand that it's dangerous and perhaps even a little reckless to say to you, I guarantee you have a victim story in your life. And also, I'm going to be dangerous and reckless and say, I guarantee that you've got a victim story in your life. I don't know what area that is for you, and I don't know what that looks like specifically for you. And if you want to dive into something like that 101, then let's work together 101. And also, if you're not sure, or if you're curious, actually is probably a better way of saying this. If you're curious and you're wanting to shift that, then what I would offer is look at the main area of your life that you've really been trying to shift, change, create expansion, create something more, create something better, whatever that looks like. That one area of your life, the one that sprung to mind the minute I said it. Okay? Look at that and then start asking yourselves questions, you, yourself, and you. Ask yourself questions to begin uncovering what your particular victim story might be. And then once you do some reflection, I want to leave you with this. These are the last two questions that I asked myself. Am I interested in keeping the story alive? And is there anything else it can give me, or has it already provided all its gifts? We hold stories and beliefs and traumas and hurts and pain and suffering in our life, present and activated and recurring in our life, because it gives us something. The victim story of struggle and not having enough that has become so embedded, in particular when I think about growing my business. That story served me for a long time. It gave me a lot. It was something that I wanted. I say that very specifically in that way because I know it's really easy for us to say, well, I don't want this. There is something that we are gaining out of it. And the questions that I went through on my own is what helped me really shed light on what that was about. But this final two questions really, I think, are so powerful. Am I interested in keeping the story alive? Not, what's the cost of keeping it alive? Why am I choosing it this way? Whatever. Am I interested? Is there an interest? And I want you to, if you actually sit down and reflect on these questions, be fucking honest. Because our default, for those of us who are seeking to expand and interested in growth and curious about how much more we can become in our current iteration of human life, the default, the expected answer is to say, well, no, of course I'm not interested in keeping that story alive. And I'm going to challenge you to really sit with it and be fucking brutally honest. Because I suspect, I don't know for sure, but like history tells me this may be true. I suspect that if you try to lie to yourself and say, no, I'm not interested in keeping the story alive anymore, when really you still are, when really it's still serving you, when really you haven't finished unpacking the gifts it has for you, then you are doing yourself a giant disservice by saying, well, I'm not interested in keeping it. It is okay to hold on to a story, even if it's a fucking garbage story. It is okay to hold on to that story until you're ready to really let it go. I am sure that I've been in this space of reflecting on this a number of times over the last 18 months and definitely in the last few years. The last year to year and a half that I was in my corporate job were fucking soul sucking, and I couldn't figure out what was going on because I used to the job lit me up. The company I worked for just filled my soul, and then it all went to hell, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? This victim story, and I use that language very specifically because it's a story of struggle, of strife, of woe is me, and it stays on repeat. I had benefits that I received out of holding on to that story. And when this question flowed through, am I interested in keeping the story alive? I had to challenge myself as well. Amy, you have to be fucking brutally honest. Because if I try to say, no, I'm not interested, let's move on, when really that's not yet true, I will find every fucking way to hold it in place. Okay? The second question, is there anything else it can give me, or has it already provided all its gifts? Notice how that question is phrased. It is phrased in the understanding that this story that like fucking spiritual teachers and personal growth gurus and coaches and whatever all over the map are going to tell you like, victim story doesn't serve you. It doesn't help you. It's costing you this. It's costing you that. And all of those things may be true. And also, it is gifting you something. It is giving you something. It is honestly there in service to you. And perhaps you're not interested in letting it go yet because you haven't received all the gifts it has to give you yet. But perhaps it's already gifted you everything. Perhaps everything that victim story, that story of struggle and strife and woe is me, it may have already yielded everything that it can give you. And now it's just become a comfort blanket. And now it's just become a safe space that that feels comfortable, I just recorded the audio in, I think it's week 2 in Breakup with Broke. No, it's in week 3 in Breakup with Broke, where I talk about the discomfort that we choose. You are always choosing your discomfort. And it could be the discomfort of staying the same or the discomfort of growing, but you're always choosing it. I unpacked that obviously I almost said much more better. I unpacked that in a more clear way with better context for you inside Breakup with Broke. But that discomfort, even if you're like, this feels miserable, but if it's a misery that you are comfortable with, it's familiar to you, you can easily retreat into it. That is safety. To your mind, that is safety. And that is okay. Beating ourselves up for finding a container, retreating to a space that feels comfortable and safe and familiar to us, especially when the external world looks like a fucking circus carnival gone wrong, why would you blame yourself for it? Why would you beat yourself up for that? It's so difficult to look into anywhere in the world or to have a conversation with anybody in the world and not have that somehow come up or the focus somehow shift to how much is going fucking sideways. And when that is happening, we need to have things that feel safe and familiar and comfortable for us. So if for you, like for me for a long time, it was this woe is me story, this story of struggle, this story of hardship, really it's a question of, what does it have anything left to give you? Or has it already yielded all of its gifts? And just sit with that. Only you will know the answer. And you may not know the answer right away today. You may not know the answer for a few more months. It's the awareness is your gift to receive and unpack. I just, as I close this episode, I realize that, first of all, let me just say, if you've been with me all the way through the episode, I love you to pieces because this energy has felt heavy, even just sitting here sharing with you. But my intent is that I was able to connect with you and perhaps give you some witnessing and some validation isn't the right word, but it's the word I'll use for now. Validation of what you've been feeling. It is okay to feel stuck. It is okay to go into old patterns that are giving you comfort and a sense of safety when everything around you is blowing up. And all I want to leave you with is just the question to consider of, are you still interested in keeping it alive? And if not, I have an amazing offer for you. Tell me if this resonates. You're a driven, high-performing professional. You've achieved some measure of success, but there's this knowing, this sense, this quiet calling from within that says there's more waiting for you. It might be in your career, it might be in your relationships, in your health, your personal fulfillment, but you just know that there's something more that you want to crack open, and you're just not sure how to get there. Imagine what could happen if you were to work with a coach who really listens deeply to what you're sharing, who sees your unique brilliance and reflects it back to you and helps you create expansion in every area of your life. Why my clients choose to work with me is many, many things. Among them being that I bring over 2 decades of experience investing in coaching and therapy and personal development so that you get to benefit from proven tools and deep wisdom. You will feel truly heard and understood. And this is something that my clients say over and over is one of the most profound and impactful parts of working together with me, and is where their transformation really begins. I guide you to reframe your challenges, to unlock new possibilities, and to ultimately manifest the life that you are craving to live. My coaching isn't about giving answers. It is about asking the most powerful questions and sharing with you wisdom from living in the trenches so that you can discover your own truth, direction, and power. You can expect a very safe, confidential space with me. There's no judgment here, just support and insight and practical strategies tailored to you. Whether you want to advance in your career, find more joy in your day-to-day life, deepen your relationships, work on your health, our work together is personalized to your goals. This is not about quick fixes, my love. I am all about lasting change that feels authentic and empowering. Picture yourself 6 months after we work together, clear, confident, living a life that feels in alignment for you, that feels magical and powerful, and that you just wake up every day like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is my life. That's what we can accomplish together through the power of coaching rooted in empathy, experience, and the deep belief in your limitless potential. If you're ready to invest in yourself and create real, lasting expansion, it's time that we work together. This is your invitation to step into a bigger, more fulfilling life, no matter where you want to grow. To find out more, you can reach out to me by email, amy@daretobegin.net, or hit me up on the DMs on Instagram. If you're ready to say yes right now, then head on over to amyvanmeel.com/next level and secure your spot today. I'm so excited to work with you, my love. I can hardly wait to see what we create for you. Let's go. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you loved what you heard today, be sure to share it with me by leaving a review on your favorite podcast platform and help me reach more like-minded people who are ready to expand their life. If you haven't yet followed me on social media, find me on Instagram for extra love and inspiration by following @AmyVanMeel, or visit my website at amyvanmeel.com. I love you so much, babe, and I am damn proud of you. I am already excited to connect in the next episode. And in the meantime, believe in yourself with the confidence of a 5-year-old.